Pregame.com.
Sunday, NFL football. The Buffalo Bills visit the New England Patriots. The Patriots 11-point favorites. The total, though, is 52. And VR, I think you have an opinion on this total.
Yes, I do. I think this, first of all, sit back and wait, because this total is going to keep climbing. I think the only thing that could bring it down is the weather. And we know right now the Northeast is battling with some snow. So that's the only reason I'm hesitant to say wait till Sunday. So take a look at the weather report and see what it says. With that said, I like the under. And again, this is going to sound like it's a contrarian play, it's a fade the public play, but I'm basing it on the fact that the line's over-adjusted from the first time they met. When they met the first time in September, and you got to remember the weather was a lot better, the total was 48. Now all of a sudden it's 52, and I think it's going to go even higher. So we should be looking at a 4 or 5 point adjustment. Now granted, when you look at last year, they scored 65 points and 70 points. The total is 53.5, 49.5. The first time they played in September this year, they scored 80 points. But I think we're looking at a different game plan this time around. New England's coming off a bye, and I don't think they're going to get it going as quick as they would as if they were in a rhythm, if it was just, playing last week. And here's why. They're 22-2 against Buffalo at home. How motivated could they really be to play the Buffalo Bills? And when you look at the Bills defensively, they give up 6 yards per carry. I think we're going to see a lot of rushing from New England, and that's going to chew up a lot of clock. And I always say this, if it's two good quarterbacks, I don't care if the public's blasting the over. I don't care if it's 53, 54, 55. I don't want a ticket on the under. But when you only have one good quarterback, then I'm not going to touch it. And actually, this is with Brian Leonard in studio. This is one of his. See, I listen to the guys that I respect, and this is something that Brian taught me last year when we did videos. And he said, when you have two good quarterbacks, you don't want to ticket on the under. Even if you think that's the right side, it's just you're hoping that something, out of character happens. And I agree with that. But here you only have one good quarterback, so I like the under.
Chuck Edel, your thoughts?
A couple good points I could make here. Definitely looking that way. First of all, you mentioned the total in the first game. That game was 14-7 at the half. New England scored 31 in the fourth quarter. A lot of turnovers. Buffalo kind of gave up there at the end. So at the half, it was 14-7. Now you look. You mentioned the New England bye week. They picked up the cornerback Talib from Tampa Bay. They moved McCourty over to safety. Their defense, I have a feeling Belichick definitely been working on this defense.
And he said he's putting hands-on this year.
Yeah.
He said he's going to be hands-on this year because last year was so disappointed.
So, I think that's a huge acquisition, and I think, getting the corner, McCourty, that really was his position. He gets back, moves over safety. The other thing is Gailey took a lot of heat for throwing the ball so much in that last game. They were playing with Houston for a while, but hardly ran the ball. Spiller only ran 6 times. Jackson only ran 6 times. Took a lot of heat. He's stupid, but he's not stupid enough to get in a shootout with Tom Brady. And Spiller, that's a pretty good combination to run the ball. Spiller and Jackson, he knows he's got to shorten the game. New England's defense has improved. I think he can make a good case for this thing to go under the higher number here.
I think you're looking at a couple numbers, too, here that play bad for Buffalo. 6.5 yards per attempt, not very good pass attempt. 3.5 yards per carry is what New England gives up on the ground, and only 89 yards per game on the ground. But I still think Buffalo's going to have to try to run the ball.
You have to.
They cannot get into a shootout. And by the way, I did check the weather. It's supposed to be clear by Sunday. So.
The only thing we got to sweat out is Fitzpatrick throwing picks for touchdowns.
Exactly.
Well,
that's part of it.
Every
right?
game.
Yeah.
So, all right, we've talked about it. Let's go ahead and make it official.
Buffalo at New England. I know the last 3 times these two teams played, they've been scoring a lot of points, but I think we're looking at an inflated total here, and with only one good quarterback on the field, I think we got to lean to the under here. Line should go up. Chris just said the weather's expected to be clear, so I don't think the public's going to slow down their over money. That should drive the line up even a little bit higher. I'm going to go under here. I think we're going to see Buffalo run the ball, and because New England could have a lot of success against a defense that allows 6 yards per carry, both teams might be running the ball more than you'd expect.
And by the way, New England is not afraid to run the ball.
At all,
They're
at all.
not
It seems
afraid
like
to-
more. It seems almost
more this year,
than they have.
almost.
Exactly.
I don't have that statistic
But yeah,
exactly, but
from
it seems
the
like
eyeballing it seems like they
it
have.
seems like they're much more willing to run the ball. Okay, coming up next, we have Chuck Edel is going to give us his play on the Jets at Seattle. And just a reminder, you can watch all our videos at pregame.tv.